exercise 7-8. Now in 7-8, it's going to do something that we've already done. And we're taking code that we've already created and we're breaking it out into modularized programming. So we won't do as much work in the main as we have been. And we'll be outsourcing that work to these other methods we create. And in this instance, we're using the count vowels method. So what do we have to do? Well, we have to receive some string from the user. And then we call it a phrase. We have to count how many vowels that are in there. So we will get the phrase, dump it into phrase. We'll pass phrase to count vowels, and count vowels will return us a value that we will then save in our variable count. And that will be how many vowels are there. It will send that to an output. There are index 0 vowels in index 1, and we use count and phrase in there. So we have to bring a string in to count vowels. Data type is string, and we're calling it phrase. So it'll come in, and when it comes in, let's get some variables in here so we can do some work. We'll have a couple of integers, x and y, and we'll have our count integer. That's where we're counting how many's there. So we've got each one of the vowels, upper and lowercase, and we store them in an array. Now you remember how we navigate an array. The easiest way to navigate an array is in a for loop. So we'll get our for loop in there, and it's going to go to the length of the phrase, but you've got to stay below that length. So if the length is 5, we'll go just before 5, which will be the index of that last value. So for x equals 0, and then we'll do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. We've got 10 as a length, so it'll go up to index 9, 0 to 9, increase by 1 each time. And what do we want to check? Well, I want to check and see I need to have that in. So I need to go across and through the phrase. So I'm not just going through the phrase. The outer for loop goes through the phrase. The inner for loop goes through the array. So for each character in the phrase, we navigate and compare each character in the array. That's why they're nested. And within that inner for loop, we'll do our conditional to check and compare the two. We'll count each time that that condition is met. So let's see what it does. Enter a string. Hello world. That's like, never seen that before. There are 3 vowels in hello world. Yes, there are. So it functions, it does what we want it to do. And the things that need attention here are things you need to focus on that stand out are that 1, we're bringing in a string of characters. And I've emphasized before, a string is like an array of characters. So we actually have a string array called vowels, and they look to be characters. They are characters, but we're calling it a string array, not a character array. And by having this, we will go through each item in the nested for loop. We'll go through each character in that phrase that was input by the user in the external folder. By nesting those loops, allows to compare at two levels. Okay. So that was pretty straightforward. Let's check and see how we did. And I'll run the check. Looks like we only got one check to do. So this one will be an all or nothing thing. And there we go. We got it all, 100%. So I'll see you in the next